In today's video, I'm going to be going over a beginner's guide for the walk, jog, run, dash, and strafe in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What I'm going to be discussing is what each of these are, how to do them, and give you some tips and advice on when to do each one. I'm intending for this video to be for new players of Smash Ultimate. However, if you are a veteran player, you may be able to learn something from this video. It really depends on the person to person. And if you like the video, you may be able to share it with some of your friends that you're looking to get into Smash as well. So I hope this video can be a benefit to anyone who listens. Okay, so let me go ahead and just start off by showing you the walk, jog, run, dash, and strafe animations of Sephiroth. So here's his walk. As you can see, I can kind of change up the speed. Sephiroth's jog, what I refer to as a jog, is like it's a faster than the walk movement, but it's not yet a run. And his jog is actually just a faster walk, as you can see right here. So it depends on the character itself. I'll go ahead and show you Mithra's over there on the left, just so you can see, because hers looks more like an actual jog. So this is her walk, right? And then you can do a jog, which is that, right? You can go into the jog. On Mithra 2, you can also do a slow jog if you choose like that, and then go into a faster jog. And then the running animations, as you can see right there on Mithra, looks like that. On Sephiroth, looks very similar because they both glide over the ground. That's the running animations. Their dash animation for Sephiroth looks like this, right? It's just a quick dash. And the strafing looks like this. On Mithra, her dash looks very similar because they both have the gliding motion. She just goes a little bit farther. And then her strafe looks similar as well. It's just faster, right? Okay, so the next part, how do you do each of these moves if you don't know? So with the walk, with Sephiroth, I'm on the right side of the screen. So to walk towards Mithra, I'm going to have to move my left analog stick, which is my movement analog stick. I'm going to have to move it over towards the left side of the screen to walk towards her. So to walk, you just barely move it over to the left, like barely even touch it, and you'll start to walk. To do your jog, right, after you start up your walk animation, you're going to want to move your analog stick all the way over to the left without letting go of it. So you basically start with your walk, and then you move it all the way over in that direction, and you'll start your actual jog, right? Looks like this on Mithra. So you can't actually go into a run from a walk without resetting your movement stick, and I'll show you how to do that. So with your run, how you do it is you just, in this case, I'm going to basically slam my left analog stick all the way over to the left, right? And I'm going to hold it down. And that lets me do my running animation for as long as I'm holding it down. If you're doing a walk, right, you can't actually go into a run by moving your stick over all the way to whatever direction that you were walking in. Instead, you have to reset your stick by letting go of it, and then you can enter your running animation, because otherwise you'll enter into your jog animation, right? Which in Sephiroth's case is a faster walk. How you do your dash, it's basically the same as a run. You're going to mash your movement stick all the way over to whatever side of the screen you want to dash towards, except you're not going to hold it. You're going to immediately let go, and it'll look like this. So you just slam it over to whatever side of the screen, and you immediately let the stick flick back to the center by itself, right? That's what a dash is. And then a strafe is very similar to a dash, but it's two of them. So I'm going to do that same movement twice, right, where I slam my stick all the way over to whatever side of the screen, in this case to the left side of the screen, right? Except I'm going to do it twice, right, really, really fast. So you're going to slam your stick over to the left side of the screen and then let go of it so it flicks back to the center of your stick, but you're going to do it twice, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2. So like if I hold it right, I'm going to go into a run, right? But if I just do it once and then kind of like do a slight pause in between for the dash, right? So it's 2 dashes in a row. That's what the strafe looks like. So when do you want to use your walk, jog, run, dash, and strafe? So this is all very character specific and player matchup, right? Because it depends on, 1, the character you're facing, and then 2, what's going on in that specific instance, and then also who's controlling the character you're facing, right? Because they'll have their own habits and play styles. But these will be some quick tips that you can incorporate into your gameplay. So let's just start with the walking. So when do you want to walk? In Sephiroth's case, I'll just give you an example, is that he's a character that can get away with moving pretty slow, right? And also with any character, sometimes going slow is the answer. You don't always need to be moving at the speed of light in this game to get what you need to get done, right? You have all these movement options for a reason, because you can play mind games with your opponent in terms of how you move around the map, right? You don't have to be in such a rush all the time. In Sephiroth's case specifically, with his really long sword and long range, walking can actually greatly benefit him, because as soon as they get into your range, you know, you're going to swing your sword out. So you don't always have to be dashing around, because it could mess up with your micro spacing. But once again, it's character specific, right? Or if you knock them off the ledge, right? Let's say I knocked you off the right side of the screen here. Instead of dashing over there, you know, I can just simply walk while I'm waiting for you to get back, and, you know, maybe hit you with a down air to try to spike you to the stage, right? So different ways you can use the walk. With the jog, it's kind of similar, right? It's when you just want that second movement option, or to throw your opponent off. Because like I said, sometimes your fastest isn't always what you need. Especially in Mithra's case, right? You can psych someone out and make them feel like you're going to sprint at them, but you're actually going to jog, and it could throw off their timings of their hits, right? That's just one example. And when do you want to run? So the first reason is if you want to cover the most horizontal distance, right? So if you got to get from one side of the map to the other, your dash is usually the fastest way to actually get that job done, right? So if your opponent's at a high percentage and you hit them with a big attack and they go flying off the side of the stage on the other side, and you want to get over there really quick to try to do an edge guard or a ledge trap, that's when you want to use your run. You also want to use your run to perform a dash attack, which I will go over in another video, but simply put, there's an attack in this game called dash attack, or rather a running attack. I guess you can call it whatever you want, but let's just call it a running attack. And you can only input it while you're in your running animation. So not in your dash animation, yeah. So let's call it a running attack. So while you're in your running animation, well, actually, you know what? I take that back. So your dash, you know, like I said, it's just your actual run. It's the start of your running animation. So you could dash and go into a running, but it's your running attack, right? So that's one reason that you want to run, is to get access to that running attack. And another tip that goes in with the running, right, is that, as you can see, if I hit my attack button while I'm running, I'm going to always do my dash attack. However, if I let my character stop, right, or almost stop, I can do other hits instead. So in this case, I can do Sephiroth's forward tilt. And sometimes that's what you want to do, especially on a character like Sephiroth, because you can see that if I do my dash attack, it's a very close range move, right? However, if I do my forward tilt, right, it's a very long range move. So depending on what's going on, I may want to be running at them, but then instantly stop to hit them with my forward tilt, right? Just depending on what's actually going on. So that's one reason, or that's one tip to do with your running, is that you can always stop it to perform other attacks. Just let the animation end and time your attack with the end of the animation. And also another thing with running is that if you want to change directions instantly while you're running, as you can see, my character like turns around very slow. If you want to not have this happen, then just turn around, right? So you want to run, right, and then let go of the stick. So kind of let him like glide to the very end. You see how like when I stop, he just kind of like glides, right? So during that gliding motion, you'll want to flip the stick back in the opposite direction. So you run, you let go, and then you flip it back in the opposite direction. And this will save you time in between going back and forth, right? Though obviously if you want that extra time for certain timings, right, or certain mix-up, you can still have access to it just by keeping the analog stick down. And so, for example, I'm running to the right and then going all the way back to the left to get that kind of delayed turning, right? But yeah, so those are some tips with the run. With your dash, why do you want to use it? It's really just a quick burst range option, right? I can go from here to here pretty quick, especially on a character like Mithra. You see her dash is a lot farther because it's just the beginning of your running animation. And, you know, it's basically, like I said, it gives you a bit more movement. You can chain it into a dash attack if you want, or like a forward tilt or a down tilt, or a regular hit or a grab, whatever you want to do, right? So it's just another movement option. However, the dash is more incorporated with the strafe. And as I mentioned, your strafe is just 2 dashes, right? So what's good about this strafe and your dash, right, because you can just do 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, right? So you're going to be using them in conjunction. Is that, as you can see, my character is able to turn left and right without much in lag on his moves. So this is good when you're in the middle of a fight, right, and you're kind of like dancing back and forth with your opponent, you know, throwing out attacks and looking for a opening, because it has very little in lag when you do this strafe and dash attack. So there you have it. Those are all the grounded movement options in terms of, I guess, using your legs on the ground, right, in terms of walk, jog, run, dash, and strafe. And those are some few quick tips and how to do them. After rewatching this video during my editing session, I just wanted to add in a few quick things. As I mentioned in the original recording, your running animation is the quickest way to get from one side of the battlefield to the other. I just wanted to clarify that that is true, that it is faster than your strafing animation. So you probably realize that your strafe animation is really fast. However, if you do that animation from one side of the battlefield to the other, it's actually slower than your running animation. However, your strafing is generally a better movement option and faster when you're just trying to cover a small distance or mid-range distance. So when you're in that neutral game looking for an attack on your enemy or dodging their hits, that's when you're going to want to be dashing and strafing, and you'll want to do your running animation when you're trying to get from one side of the map to the other or perform your running attack, obviously. And also you can optimize your strafing and your dashing to make them even faster if you time your second strafe or dash at the end of your first strafe or dash at the very end of the animation, right? So you let your character slide a little bit, and that's when you let go of your controller, and then you dash back the other way.